My sister literally tried to single white female my entire life, but her latest stunt takes the absolute cake. I have always been the practice child, while my younger sister Jessica is the undisputed golden child. I'm talking straight up, unapologetic parental favoritism. It started relatively small. If I got a certain brand of sneakers for school, she suddenly needed the exact same ones in a better colorway. During my high school graduation party, she literally stood on a chair and announced she was moving to Los Angeles to become an influencer. When we were at a standard neighborhood backyard barbecue for the 4th of July, she spent the afternoon throwing shade at my brand new boyfriend, now fiance, Mark, telling my cousins he was too quiet and low-key boring. Then, during a mundane, everyday Target run last year, where we were just grabbing sparkling water and bathroom organizers, she suddenly drops the bomb that she's looking into my exact niche career path because it looks so easy when you do it. Everything I ever did, she had to do too. But our parents always framed it as her looking up to me. I was always told to swallow my pride and be the bigger person, but the events of the last 6 months have been an utter nightmare. Mark and I got engaged last December. We spent months scouting locations and finally fell in love with a sprawling historic estate just outside the city limits. It was absolutely perfect. We put down a massive non-refundable deposit. My parents had generously offered to help pay for half the overall wedding cost, and they wired their deposit money directly to the venue coordinator. I was thrilled, thinking for once in my entire life, they were actually prioritizing my happiness over hers. Well, fast forward to 3 weeks ago. Jessica gets engaged to a guy she's known for 5 months. Suddenly, the whole family dynamic shifted back to normal. Every conversation was dominated by Jessica's ring, Jessica's dress, and Jessica's wedding aesthetic. I tried my best to be a supportive older sister, but then I received a phone call from our venue coordinator. She was extremely confused because she had just received an unexpected email from my mother asking to transfer the date and deposit to a new name, Jessica. I thought it was a bizarre clerical mistake. I immediately called my mom, and this is where the absolute worst gaslighting began. She actually tried to convince me. Mark and I had explicitly said we wanted a longer engagement, and that Jessica was in a huge rush because her fiance's grandparents were getting older and might not make it to a wedding next year. She calmly said they just reallocated the funds they had contributed to help Jessica out since we had plenty of time to save up again. Going behind my back to steal my literal wedding venue and our shared deposit was the straw that broke a camel's back. They didn't even ask me first. They just tried to poach my dream day because Jessica wanted a vintage estate vibe right after seeing my private wedding Pinterest board. I was absolutely livid. I dropped everything and drove straight to my parents' house, where of course, Jessica was casually sitting on the kitchen island drinking an expensive iced matcha latte. I didn't hold anything back. I walked right in and aggressively slammed the printed email from the venue directly onto the marble counter. "Are you guys completely delusional?" I screamed at the top of my lungs. My dad told me to lower my voice and calm down, but I absolutely refused. I looked right at Jessica and told her she was a pathetic, unoriginal copycat who couldn't form a genuine thought if her actual life depended on it. I then turned sharply to my parents and told them they were the most toxic, overly enabling people I had ever unfortunately met. My mom immediately started loudly crying, doing her classic, well-rehearsed victim routine, claiming she was simply trying to balance things out because I already have so much going for me, and Jessica really needs this big win right now. Jessica quickly chimed in, aggressively saying I was being a totally selfish bridezilla, and that she loved the venue just as much as I did, so it was completely fair game. I told them all exactly where they could shove that fancy venue. I informed them I was legally canceling the remaining contract, taking them to small claims court for the half of the deposit Mark and I paid if they didn't refund us immediately, and permanently cutting them off.